So hello, well today it's Jimmy and I'd like to take a look at this, which is a bit of a blast down memory lane for me. Enid Blyton was a famous author in England of children's books effectively, and one of her most famous series was the Famous Five, and this is an annual I had when I was a child. It's not the actual one I had. In actual fact, I had a different one when I was a kid, sort of thing. But it became a very popular television series in the 1970s, and somebody's sadly defaced this one. They've kind of drawn in a kind of cock nostril, and you know, Anne's got some sort of funny looking teeth there. It was Julian, Dick and Anne, George and Timmy the dog, and yeah, so there you go. A whole £1.75, isn't it? It was. So it was Julian, Dick, Anne, George, which was Georgina because she was actually a girl, and Timmy was the mutt, you know, that was part and parcel of the show. So this one, as you can see, it's from 1979. So yeah, yeah. I used to collect the books as a kid, and I was a massive fan, is all I can say, of the Famous Five, and when it came on out on television, I couldn't wait to kind of get involved. And this is like a, you know, so there you go. You can read, if you want to, you can read it all for yourself. So read all about it, you know, but pause and have a look, sort of thing. Of course, this series was eventually brilliantly parodied by the Comic Strip Presents, where they did a kind of a fake version of it, where it was all ridiculous. Because, I mean, to be honest, nowadays, someone like Enid Blyton's books, they're totally unpolitically correct. You know, she mentions words that you just can't mention nowadays, ever. Unless you want to go to prison. But back in the day, it was all good, baby. It was all good. But I loved this book. I must say, I used to read it. I was getting quite old, ripe in my years as well. But I used to still pore over it at night. Not with a torch under the under the blankets. But Uncle Quentin has an idea. I mean, you must, if anyone's watching this, in all sincerity, you must go and check out the Comic Strip Presents versions. 5 Go Mad on Mescalin, I think it is, and 5 Go Mad in Dorset. They're well, hang on, because I probably have them, in actual fact, on my extensive bookshelves. I somehow probably have them. There it is, the best of. So that will be maybe the one that you need to see. It looks like this. It's the Comic Strip Presents. It was a British group of comics, comedians, comics, and there you can see. Yes, they are. It is there, present. 5 Go Mad in Dorset. I don't know if they've got 5 Go Mad in Mescalin, but that's it's you know, you can probably find them on the YouTube, in actual fact. But they are very, very funny people, all of them. These people, Nigel Plana, Adrian Edmondson, I think that is, if my eyes serve me well. There was Robbie Coltrane. Well, there's the list of the cast there, look. Keith Allen was in there, Dawn French, Jennifer Saunders, the beautiful Jennifer Saunders, Peter Richardson, very, very funny man, Rick Mail. Some of them have passed now, unfortunately. Robbie's gone, isn't he? Rick's gone. And yeah, what a shame. Alexi Sale, another very, very funny comic. Well worth checking out. The Comic Strip Presents. If you're into humour, especially if you're into British humour, because I recognise that it's not to everyone's taste. But this was sort of like a best of that's very funny actually, the hunt for Tony Blair. It just makes me chuckle just thinking about it. But no, this was really good. Sadly, never wanted to bring gloom and doom. But this lass had a terrible life, and she took her own life actually towards the end. I presume it's something to do with acting and stardom and not having it after a while. But heaven to hell. But yeah, I used to love this TV series. It was very. I mean, here we go already. It's Sooty Lenoir. I mean, you guys was kind of borderline daring already, isn't it? I mean, it's like, no, hang on a minute. But there were, as a kid, I got interested because there were always interesting bits and bobs about birds and things. It was kind of an educational program. But obviously, you would not be calling your dog or anybody that name anytime soon. Nowadays. Sorry to laugh. I mean, I'm not, in any way racist or anything. I'm just going to an old book. I love people, as probably you can tell from if you've ever watched my channel. I've only ever tried to help them. All about caves. You see, there was all this sort of interesting bit and bob. But Enid was of a time, and obviously the time that she was of was something zupełnie sosinacze, as the Polish say, something completely different. But I used to love reading these comic strip thing bits. I used to like comics generally. In actual fact, I used to collect the Marvel comics. Comics, sounding that. God, I'm starting to sound like Forrest Gump, life's a box of chocolates. But yeah, Sentinels of the Sea. You see the sea. What was it? I joined the Navy to see the sea, and I joined the Navy to see the land, and all I saw was the sea. I think it was that rhyme or something like that. Timmy makes a noise. Well, yeah, Jimmy makes a noise too. Occasionally, sort of like But nice to love these old manuals. I only had the two. I think there was another one I had somewhere lurking in a room. Oh, this is interesting. Look, the Morse code. So you could learn how to Morse messages to people. In fact, one of my first girlfriends lived across the road from me in a girls' school dormitory, and we used to flash Morse messages at each other. They were only ever brief things like sort of, I love you sort of thing, and it was silly kids stuff, but it's true. Probably I was using this as a reference, and she was probably using her version or whatever she had as a reference. Claire Lascelles, her name was, bless her. Bless old Claire. I wonder where she is now. She was gorgeous, although she was a chubby girl, but I actually preferred chubby girls as a kid. What am I saying? I mean, everyone is everybody. They're beautiful, whoever you are. Don't worry about it whether you're thin, tall, short, fat, bald, or whatever with a beard. Well, preferably not with a beard if you're a girl, I suppose. But yeah, that looks like when Jimmy drops one. When old Jimmy makes a noise, that's where you've got to go behind the couch to get away from the stench. But there you go. So just to look at an old. I mean, this is dropping on now, but just an old. That's interesting. How to make a telescopic periscope. You see, there was all sorts of interesting features in these manuals. Rats. You see, well, I know a few rats, Miss Moneypenny. And yeah, it was a good book to have. Anyway, just the thing I saw and on my shelf. Here's a funny thing. This is a true story. My great grandmother was a smuggler. Her name was Dolly Peel. She was from South Shields in the north, and she used to smuggle tobacco and rum I believe, among other things. I'll probably leave a description to her in the descriptions box below, or whatever it's called. But no, she was a genuine smuggler. She was also a mariner. She went to, because her husband was press ganged. It was that long ago. Press ganging meant that you were forcefully recruited into the Royal Navy to serve, and effectively what that meant was that you had to go to sea, and they used to catch a lot of blokes when they were drunk in the pubs in the north, knock them over the head, and the next thing they know, they woke up and they were on board ship, sort of thing, out to sea. And when Dolly found out her husband had been press ganged, she joined up. She was such a sort of butch woman that she just dressed as a bloke and went on board. It's not a carry-on film, this either. It's for real. And she served as a waitress in a cocktail bar. No, I'm joking. She served as on board as a surgeon's assistant, helping the sailors that have been, harmed very badly, as they often were, in battle. Often cannonballs would come flying through the sides of the ship, and the splinters of wood would just decimate people, and they had to stitch them up, sort of thing. And that was what she used to do. So there you go, a rambling around video, isn't it? So I love dogs. I love dogs, innit? See, there's that one there that I love. It's over there. It is. Your little monkey. He's asleep. He's had enough of me and these videos. But some of these things, if you read them now, they're actually hilariously unpolitically correct. Timmy, he's so licky. Please do check out the Comic Strip Presents, because they are brilliant parodies. It is literally leg pulling the Enid Blyton series of books, and it's very, very well done. A Ford Anglia. So the dog jumps over the Ford Anglia. But my old uncle had one of them. Bloody terrible cars. The rear window was at an odd sort of slant like that for some reason. God knows what Ford were thinking when they made that thing. Probably they were all pissed or something. I don't know. Probably the designers had a few drinks that lunchtime, Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, as always. All the very best wishes. Cheers. Rest in peace, Geordie.